Hi, ladies and gentlemen. So most of you guys are interested in the esoteric Christianity stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the stuff that I learned, and hopefully this will help you guys on your journey, okay? So today I want to talk about Christianity, and before we talk about Christianity, I followed my other one about esoteric Christianity. I talked about how in Christianity, you realize that they don't see time the way that we do. So time for them, when we talk about the Bible, it's really in circles, right? So they are based because they understand time is a cycle, and because we're a limitation, and because your limitation thing doesn't really expand. When you're a limitation, there's only finite, which is only limitations, right? So the finite limitations that we have forces our timeline to go as a circle. But in reality, time is actually an illusion. And the reason we know it's illusion is because our time as we know it on the third dimension is basically based on the solar system. So the solar system is based around the sun. So we basically gravitate around the solar system of the sun. However, that is only relative to our solar system. It's not relative to the universe. So it's not a universal principle. So therefore we know it's only subjected to our experiences. Now, when you understand that, you know that time is basically an illusion, but it's finite. So finite means it's basically in a box. So you think of Earth, right? Think of it as like a box. You know, when in quantum, in sacred geometry, they say Earth is like a box. So here's our box, a square, right? And here's a square. So if you're in time and you were to go outside of time, right? So this is a square, and you were to go this way, that way, what would happen? You would have to come back this way, right? Because it's just finite. So basically, this is Earth, which is a square, which we know in sacred geometry. And if you were to go in time, you would have to come back here because it's finite. It doesn't go forever. So how that would look in Earth would just be a circle because it just keeps going back in a circle. So from here, it looks like a circle, but in reality, are just going in the same finite space of the cube of space. The cube of space is Earth. So when you're dealing with revelations is really the end of a cycle. So when a cycle ends, basically right now we're at the end of us being unconscious. So because we're going to want to resurrect our consciousness, we're going to have revelations. And revelations means we're going to be revealed the truth. We're going to be revealed our knowledge, right? We're going to be revealed revelations. However, the powers that be are I call them the agents of chaos because they want the holographic universe to stay in put. And they want the holographic universe to stay in put because they have power over it. Because imagine if we all have our consciousness, we cannot be governed, we cannot be programmed, we cannot be manipulated, we cannot be manipulated through fear. Because what happens is when you come back into your body and you get your seven chakras open, you're going to be intuitive. And especially when you go past the heart and up, you're going to be psychic. You're going to be able to tap into things. And because the agents of chaos don't really go past the heart chakra, they only primarily work off the lower chakras. Once you get into the heart chakra, they can't tap into the heart, the throat, the vision, and this because this is more like high magic. This is more like lower magic. So what they would try to do is they try to make us function on our lower three chakras, which is the root, the sacral, and the solar plex. So a lot of times what they do, because we're at the end of a cycle, is they try to bombard your lower chakras. So therefore you're not intuitive, you're focusing on fear, and you're basically manifesting their reality. Because right now there's kind of like the universe is saying, okay, now it's time for people to wake up. But the agents of chaos are saying, no, we want this. So they're going to try to make it go on for longer and longer. So that's when you have revelations. In Gnostic teachings or Gnostic texts, they call the people the agents of chaos, the archons, who basically manufactured this holographic universe because they knew that we would lose consciousness. So because they knew we were going to lose consciousness, they primarily focused on making all the esoteric traditions based on fear. Because when we're living on fear, we're going to be looking for them for guidance as opposed to going within. So that's what they do, is they really focus on fear. all right? And with the fears, we're not supposed to look at images in Christianity because we can manifest. If I look at an image, I can manifest an image. So if they say Christ is a white man, he's beautiful, whatever like that, I can visualize him, and with my my ability to manifest, I can accidentally manifest that. So that's why in the Bible and Islam they say do not pay attention to images and do not worship deities, because you can manifest with that image, right? They also attack the lower chakras, which we talked about. This right here is, we got to make sure that we have a vibration. So right here, the vibrations will split, so basically when they say there's revelations, they say that sometimes they say there would be two earth, because they say that the people who focus on the lower chakras will probably stay in the lower chakras with the lower God, which is the chaos agent, so they can go ahead and transcend the next cycle. So this earth would probably split. The people who were able to activate the upper chakras will experience a new earth, basically a whole new reality, while people with the lower chakras will stay here because they still have time to learn. So that's when they talk about this split. They talk about heaven is about doing good deeds, because remember, when you're here, you're having a vibrational frequencies with your interactions with people, as above, as within, as without. What you do within yourself will transcend outside. So when you do good deeds, you're going to manifest a good deed of life, because we live in a holographic universe. So our external verse is a reflection of our inner verse, okay? So in the Bible, they always talk about the male has to be female and the female has to be men. What they're talking about at the end of a cycle, because the divine feminine is going to have to resurrect. The divine feminine, naturally, she is an introvert. She doesn't like to be in the public. She's shy. She's quiet, right? Because she's the subconscious. She's behind. So she's going to have to come out and speak on behalf of the conscious. So she's going to have to give up some of her qualities of the subconscious and become more of the conscious, and therefore speak up like the conscious. And the conscious is going to have to tap into the subconscious mind and learn into the wisdom that she learned from the cycle. So that's why they say the men have to be like women, the women have to be men. Basically, we have to balance each other's energy. The feminine would have to be more masculine, and the masculine has to be more feminine. So therefore, they can balance out each other's energy. So, when you understand frequency. The frequency is heaven is up and hell is down. So when you understand frequencies like wave frequencies or light frequencies or audio frequencies, there's different levels of frequencies. Now, the human body could only tap into certain levels of frequency. Now, the higher the frequency, like let's just say a dog whistle. If I was to blow a dog whistle, my dog would be able to hear that dog whistle, but I won't, because that's frequency. So as you go up a higher frequency by fine-tuning, doing good deeds, fine-tune yourself, working your shadow, your vibration will go higher. As you go higher, your life will be higher. The higher you go, the less dense it will go. So heaven is a vibrational state of raising your frequency, so therefore you don't have a lot of low energy. Now, if you don't fine-tune your energy, frequency is going to be lower. You're going to keep going lower and lower until you completely forget who you are. You forget who your origins is. You forget all your powers. So you see that there's a vibrational frequency. The higher frequency you go up closer to one, right? God is up here. So it's kind of like a triangle, right? Where God is up here, and we're kind of working our way up to God. So, which is oneness. But if you're going down, you're going into fractions and you're going into multiple people. So we want to go back to unity where we're all one. So that when you go up into your higher frequency, not only do you you elevate your chakras, once you go up to your higher chakras, then you can tap into oneness. So that's why doing good deeds, checking on your shadow, making sure that you're a good person, fine-tune yourself, and being a good person will get you into the heavens, because then you're going into the higher frequencies. So that's my quick video. Hope you like it, and peace.